Hey, so what is a failed mold inspection? Or basically, what's a waste of money type of mold inspection that you could get from someone who maybe doesn't do it thoroughly or doesn't know what they're doing or maybe just is lazy or had a bad day? Here's some of the criteria. I have done videos on a good mold inspection, and listen, not everyone knows every single thing. We can't put the expectation of the world on any one professional. There's a lot of dynamics in a home, so we're going to give the benefit of the doubt to the different professionals to have their area of expertise. But if you're going to be spending money on a mold inspection for your home, you want to be putting the money in the right place, right? So I just wanted to outline a few of the bigger kind of red flags. First, no interview. Okay, so they just kind of don't ask why they're there, what areas of water damage has happened in the past. They don't get that real comprehensive client interview. My 40 plus question questionnaire prior to my virtual calls with people helps me help you very, very well. I can really determine a lot just from that questionnaire alone. And the interview is a huge, huge part. You know your home better than anybody. You're living there. How are you feeling in the home versus out of the home? What are the humidity levels like? You know, what previous damages happened? How old is this carpet? You know, all these different factors. Big, big point is the interview. Maybe I said under an hour, but honestly, the whole point with this is they're just not taking enough time in the home. You cannot do a full mold assessment of a home in a under an hour time. I mean, maybe in an apartment you could, but you really want to take your time on each of these places to really confidently be able to determine, is there a high likelihood of mold here or not? So if someone's in and out in your house under an hour, 1 or 2 air samples, and that's all, kind of a waste of money. Randomized testing, okay? Randomized testing would be there's no testing strategy. Like I said, you're just a couple random air tests, you just collect some dust on an Irma, you're just charging for tests basically that the homeowners could have known better themselves. Testing very much has their limitations. I think the IEP or the inspector should know the strengths and weaknesses of each test and the reason why they're testing. What is the goal of this test? Is it going to help us determine types, amounts, severity, extent, and will it help us with writing the remediation protocol? That's the key of testing. Is their report very vague, very short, very much, yeah, there's a mold issue or a potential mold issue in the bathroom and should get remediated? Way too vague. They should be IICRC certified ideally, and that's what I have for water restoration and mold remediation, and should be pretty well versed in the S520 protocols, which are here. And when you study these well, you know how to then write a proper report and clear recommendations. If they give no clear recommendations of their assessment of your home, that's not the best, that's a mold inspection fail. Another one could be not assessing all accessible areas. So, oh, we don't check the attic. Well, if they physically can't, that's one thing, but everything that's accessible should be checked on a proper assessment. If they have no knowledge of the health impacts of mold and biotoxins and indoor air quality, or not good knowledge of the protocols, like I mentioned, you probably want to go find someone who does, right? So this is how I see a mold inspection for the ones that I do on site and even with my virtual calls. I see it as a health procedure in some way. Not official medical advice, but you got to know that this, really deserves our best foot forward and our most thorough efforts because it impacts our health. And we breathe over 3,000 gallons of air per day. We want those, the high majority of those gallons to be clean air, ideally. No conflict of interest, okay? So this is big where you don't want your inspector also doing remediation because they're going to get paid every single step of the way and they're incentivized to find a problem. They're then incentivized to clear their own work. You want third-party assessor, remediator, and then third-party assessor again to check their work. That just is the best accountability. And these are just some of the red flags. There are obviously other ones. If you don't feel good about this person, you don't trust them, they really don't kind of care, or they're not. I think curiosity is a very important part of this because it does keep you in the house as long as you need to really check everything. They should have good knowledge of the HVAC system and how that interacts, and just a bit of knowing the road ahead for you to get the house most optimized. So these are some of the bigger red flags of a mold inspection fail. If you've already had one of these, unfortunately, hopefully my page can help kind of fill in some gaps for you and empower you as homeowners to really know what you're looking for and how to fix it. I commit on my inspections in person to do the opposite of all these. Nice long interview, take my time, very strategic testing, a report with very clear recommendations and of my findings with my different tools, and assessing all accessible areas. I've had to Spider-Man my way through some really hard to reach spots in attics at times and crawl under crawl spaces. Not fun, but part of the job. And knowledge of the health impacts. I mean, that's my passion, is health and wellness. And I think what we do here is extremely important for people's health. And the no conflict of interest is really important. Just doing business with a clean conscience, like I aim to do. And hope this helps with who you're vetting for a mold inspection in your house. And before ever paying a professional, educate yourself, empower yourself, take some ownership and responsibility before spending $1 with someone. And then when you do, get the right team, and we'll get it solved.